Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Success Story series sessions. And today I'm really honored to have Mr. Perth, who has recently cleared the RBI Grade B Officer 2024 examination and he has become the RBI Grade B Officer. So welcome to the Success Story series session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So first of all, heartiest congratulations to you on becoming the RBI Grade B Officer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So
It's been
how
a
are you?
long journey.
Yeah. So how are you feeling right now after becoming an RBI Grade B Officer?
Uh, it's finally settling down. It's been almost 10, 12 days. So it's been finally settling down that I'm selected. And recently, last date, yesterday itself, I got the mail that you have been recommended. So now it's finally settled. The feeling is settling in.
That's really great. So, my dear friends, let me tell you that today we will be hearing out the story of Mr. Perth, that how he became the RBI Grade B officer. So, basically, his strategy and how he basically overcome all the obstacles to clear this exam, which is also going to help you in your journey of becoming the RBI Grade B officer this year. So, let's start with the education background. So, sir, you can please tell our aspirants something about your educational background.
Yes, so I did my graduation from IIT Roorkee in chemical engineering, and I graduated in the year 2019. And post that, I decided that I will be going for civil services. So I gave three attempts, and after that, I pivoted to different examinations such as RBI, CBI, and
Hmm.
NABARD. And this is technically my fourth attempt in the RBI, and this time I've gotten success. And last year also I gave the interview in RBI, but I was not able to make it to the final list. So this year I have finally made it to the final list.
So it's been a long journey for you. As you mentioned
Yeah,
that you have done your graduation from IIT, so it is one of the prestigious institutions of our nation. So you must be having
definitely.
some good package when you cleared, when you just finished your BTech, right? So when did you decided to shift your focus from that having a good package to started preparing for the government examinations, like you prepared for UPSC and then you follow with the RB Grade B officer exam?
Yeah. So actually, from the beginning itself, I decided that I have to focus on these examinations. So I was very much focused and preparing simultaneously. So and after once I graduated, I was full time preparing for the civil services. But after not clearing the examination, I decided that it's time to pivot. So I discussed with a couple of people who were senior to me, and and especially in the RBI itself, they were in the RBI, so they told me that it's a good job and they have a good job and good opportunities, learning opportunities. You should definitely go for it, and even if you do not crack it, you can always go to the corporate sector. There's nothing wrong in it. So I decided let's give it a shot. So that's
And you gave it a shot, and the rest is history as you have become the RB Grade B officer.
yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's really great. So basically, as you also prepared for the UPSC examination, so did your experience of your experience of UPSC preparation also helped you in your RB Grade B officer examination?
Well, there is definitely a certain overlap between the RBI course, RBI syllabus, and the UPSC syllabus. But I would say to the aspirants who are from non-UPSC background that it's not something that cannot be covered. It's not something that cannot be covered with some extra effort. It can definitely be covered, and with some focused preparation, because UPSC covers pretty much everything under the sun, from ethics to economics to history to polity, everything. So you have to be a little bit focused and it can be covered. It's not like that UPSC aspirants have a certain advantage over it, but you can definitely cover it.
Okay. So I think it's really a good message for the people who are having some kind of myth in their mind that only UPSC aspirants are clearing
Yes,
this
yes,
examination. Yeah.
definitely.
Yes. So basically, when we talk about your journey of becoming the RBI Grade B officer, so it's been a long journey. And every time when we see when you are in an aspirant phase, so there are some setbacks that you get as you also appeared in UPSC examination and then you shifted your focus to the RBI Grade B officer exam, right? So what were your key learnings? Any two major learnings that you want to share with the aspirants that they can learn from their from your experience?
Surely. Um, Two key learnings would be that first would be that if you can get a little bit detached from the results, it can be a very helpful advice to you, that just do your work, just give the examination interview, phase 1 phase 2 interview, and be a little bit detached from the results. Whatever happens happens, and you can start focusing on the next examination, upcoming examination, because the because it helps you in taking a load off your mind, and at the same point of time it encourages you to focus on the next examination. So it definitely helps. And second is, during my UPSC preparation, so I developed a certain level of calmness and perseverance and quick decision making, because the kind of mocks I've given and consistently preparing for it. So you develop a certain quick decision making with respect to what questions to attempt and what questions not to attempt. So it definitely helps in other examinations also, because it's a life skill, I would say, what to attempt, what not to attempt, especially in the field of competitive examinations. And having a certain level of calmness, because in RBI also we are seeing that there are a lot of questions which are quite unexpected, especially in the FM section we saw this year. A lot of unexpected questions were there, and they will be there. A surprise package will always be there for you. So you have to be a little bit calm, and you need to have that confidence that if I am finding it difficult and I'm well prepared, so it will be difficult for most of the candidates in the room. So that I have developed over a period of time, and if aspirants can develop it, it will definitely be helpful them to them also.
So it's really important that we are having a calm mind whenever we are sitting in an examination.
It's very important.
Yeah, because it gives you also the clarity to solve and to also basically जो भी कुछ हमने cover किया है, whatever we have already covered
Mhm.
for during our preparation part, so in order to recall it as well, we need a clear mind and calm mind and to apply that as well.
बिकॉज़ हाँ, बिकॉज़ अगर आपका वो कामनेस नहीं है, तो हो सकता है कि अगर आपको कुछ आता है, शायद आप वो भी अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर पाएँ, बिकॉज़ आप वो प्रेशर में आ गए,
Mm.
या आपसे कुछ इन द स्टार्टिंग यू वर नॉट एबल टू अटेम्प्ट 5 और 6 क्वेश्चन्स, नाउ यू आर इनटू द प्रेशर that there are only 20
Yeah.
questions and I'm not able to solve any 5 questions. Sometimes what happened, I remember in the last attempt, there was a paragraph, and it was regarding either IMF or World Bank, I cannot recall it. So there were 4 to 5 questions regarding 2 marks each in ESI objective. Now I'm not able to attempt that, because I was not very well averse what was the founding year, when it was established, who is
Mm.
the present chairman of the IMF. So
Yeah.
now it backfires upon me. So you have to need to have a car. It's okay if I do not know. There will be certain opportunities in the upcoming minutes, so I can grab upon that.
Exactly. So it's basically choosing the right questions whenever you are appearing in such kind of competitive examinations.
Exactly. You do not need to attempt each and every question.
Yeah.
You have to get ahead of the rest of the people.
So, a practical advice for all of you, and you can definitely adopt this practice whenever you are appearing in your mock test as well, so that you can practice this thing very well in order to apply it properly in the examination. Now, coming to the very first learning that you had, that is getting detached from the result. So, how were you able to do that? Because I think it is the result only which creates a lot of pressure on the students.
Exactly. So it's a very recent learning that I learned. Although it's a advice which I have been getting from a long time. But in the last attempt, in the 2023 attempt, I was not able to make it to the final list. But I was expecting that I will be able to clear it, because I was expecting that my phase two was, I was expecting certain kind of marks, and interview was okay. So I was expecting probably I will clear the cutoff, but overall I could not make it. So I got bogged down, and relatively bogged down, and then I did not study for a month or so. But if I would have started to focus upon it, um, then there were a couple of examination that I might have cracked, but due to the time I wasted upon it,
Hmm.
in the hope of result that I will clear only grade B. So I wasted a time, and I could have cleared some other examinations. So that from that point onwards, so this year, I when I gave the interview,
Hmm.
I relaxed for a couple of days, and then I went to studying for the upcoming examination, which were supposed to be in the February and March month.
Yeah. So basically, when we say that we are getting detached from the result, so how does it impact our performance in the examination and in our performance in such kind of examinations?
See, I will take a person this year's example, that in the FM section, usually what happens ki FM objective is very scoring. A lot of people get 40 plus marks also, so I also have had that in my mind. I can score 40 plus. I have practiced a lot of sectional tests,
Hmm.
mock tests, so I can give it. But this year FM was quite unexpected. A lot of terms, most of the candidates have said that we have never heard of this. So now suddenly the situation has changed, but you still have to deal with it, and you only have 20 30 minutes to deal within that particular section. Then comes the subjective section. So if you get a little, okay, even if I get 25 marks, there will be there will be most of the candidates will that get in that range only, 20, 25, 30 only. So overall, where the most of the people were scoring 35 plus in the FM, as per the last year trends. So now it has come down to 25. No worries, everybody is okay. Because it's a relative examination.
Exactly. And whatever it is for you, it is for all other people as
Everybody.
well. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think this piece of advice is really going to help all the aspirants who are basically planning to appear in this year's examination. Yeah.
Definitely.
So apart from this, there are times when basically it is very important for us to always stay motivated. So what was your motivational factor when you are in your preparation journey? Because it was your fourth attempt also of the RBI, right? So always like when you appeared in the first time, then second, then third. So during those setbacks, there are times when we feel really low, right? So at that point of time, how did you picked up yourself again and started your preparation for this examination?
Yeah, so to be honest, my first two attempts were not very sincere attempts. I gave it with half prepared. I was very half prepared, but third attempt, 2023 attempt was quite serious. But so I learned from the mistakes and
Mhm.
rectified in a 2024 attempt also. And with respect to how to keep yourself motivated, so it's a part and parcel of life that you will feel bogged down at times, a lot of times. And if you can have a good set of people, a family and friends around you who can motivate you, and can give you the confidence that you need. Sometimes you need to listen some few motivating words. So I've been lucky with respect to in this regard. I have my mother and my brother who always kept me motivating and who believed in me. My mother likes to keep the mood of the house relatively chill and relatively light, laughing and joking around. So in order to keep the light-hearted mind in the house, and my friends, they also supported me. They also told me, especially after the last year's attempt, they told me that
Mm.
you can give only 15 marks. You lost, don't worry, you will definitely go. So what happened if there are lesser seat this time? You need only one seat. So such like हंसी मजाक चलता रहता है.
Mm.
So that's all. And one more thing about me, like I'm not the kind of guy who takes a lot of stress. I'm relatively okay. I'm emotionally quite stable, so I do not take a lot of stress also. So that.
That's really great.
uh,
Yeah, and it is really great to have such a support system when you are having a people around you. So
yes,
it is really very important, my dear friends, that even when you are uh, at your lows, it is not at all wrong in going to our loved ones and getting that particular support, because it is something which is really going to help us coming out from that particular phase.
definitely.
Yeah.
One more thing I would like to add
Yes.
is that whenever if I'm feeling a little bit stressed and I'm feeling something's not right, or if I'm getting low marks in mocks or don't feel like studying, so I will try what's happening to me. Is there any particular reason? I'm Why don't I feel like reading? So I try to eliminate that particular thing. Why I'm not doing that? So if you can focus on that, that would be a lot more helpful rather than sulking and not studying, because that will further aggravate it. If you're not studying, then you will get further bogged down. It's been 1 week, 2 weeks, I'm not studied anything, people are studying. So that's all.
And
So
the time will go on, and you will
go,
see at
and
the end
it
of
will
the
add
time
pressure to you
exactly.
only. So if you can eliminate it and focus on it, maybe if it works, although it's not a permanent solution, you can watch a motivational movie, you can go out for a walk, you can take a day or two break. It might help you out in that.
Yeah, definitely. So now, coming back to the examination. So when we all know that RBI Grade B officer exam is a three-stage process. So how did you managed your
Mhm.
resources for your examination? Because at this point of time, we know that there are so many resources which are available to the students just a click away. So at this point of time, it is really very difficult to stay focused on one force, one source. So
So,
how did you manage that?
def- so I would recommend to the fellow aspirants and the future grade B officers that it's very important that you buy or stick to one source. It is not at all necessary that you have to read two, three, four resources,
Hmm.
because if you are going for source A, B, and C, and what happens when you have 3 months left for the examination, 4 months left,
Hmm.
then you can obviously have time and you can read A, B, C, and C source. But when only 2 weeks are left, then you will not be able to revise and you will feel overwhelmed whether which source, and you will not be able to recall anything. Then it will further add pressure and you will feel like giving it up. So, and let's give it up this year and we'll focus on the next year. So it happens a lot. People collect the lot of money, and I have been guilty of this also, but I have learned it over the years. So it's something which can save the fellow aspirants few years of their lives, that you have to focus and stick to one source. If you buy a course, online course, you can stick to them and trust the faculty in there, that they have years of experience, and there are a lot of minds, 10, 12 minds working, at least 10, 12 minds working behind that, in order to create that current affairs compilation or schemes compilation or RBI notification or management notes, finance notes, and they know, they have observed the pattern, it's their full-time job. So they have a lot of knowledge and insights into the examination, which you as a aspirant might not be having it. So you can trust them and take one course, uh, and it will definitely help you in saving a lot of time, because you will be roaming here and there from one source, jumping from one source to another. You'll feel like, oh, in source A there is something missing, so I will go to source B, and at the end you will not be able to complete the course in time.
So in a nutshell, instead of jumping from one source to another and only completing 20, 30, 40, 50% of source A, B,
Mhm.
and C, it's really important that we are covering 100% source
Yes,
A, the only
definitely
source that we are
multiple
having,
times.
and multiple times. That is that will be more effective instead of in comparison to covering only 20, 30, 40% of the source A, B, and C.
Effective. And when you will revise, if you have read say see, there's a current affair compilation from source A, and it's assuming, let's it's 100 pages. So
Hmm.
you read it first time, you will take 2 3 hours, next time it will take lesser time, next time it will lesser time, and you are marked within the PDF, so you will just go through, you will just breeze through. By the time you're on your fourth or fifth reading it, you'll just breeze through, it will not take you more than half an hour, because you read it so many times and it's stuck in your mind, and those kind of questions will be appearing in your mocks also.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, it will lead to a lot of revision, which is really required from the examination point of view.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, did you also enroll to any course? And if you would
Yeah,
like to tell our fellow aspirants.
yeah, I enrolled in the EduTap course, and I stick to limited sources only, and uh, I that's all. I enrolled for the EduTap course, and the
Okay.
material is in the given uh, EduTap course itself.
Okay. So, how did you strategize your phase one, phase two, and interview part?
Mhm. So for phase one, there are four sections within the phase one: GA,
Mm.
English, quant, and reasoning. So we'll start with the quant and reasoning. So I come from a science and maths background. So I'm relatively quite comfortable with the quant, and I've given it cleared it last year also. So uh, I was quite confident that I would be able to clear it, but it's important that you cannot get overconfident. There are a lot of people who are not able to clear because there might be some difficult questions which you are not able to attempt in the examination. A lot of people do not. A lot of people who have appeared for the interview last year but was not able to clear this year's prelims. So it's important that you have confidence, but don't be overconfident because RBI kept on checking the boundaries. So I was comfortable with the quant, but still I did not left anything to the chances. I watched every video, and then I started to give mocks and focused on which areas I can, which questions definitely appears, and focused on that and focused on attempting 5, 6, 7, 8 questions at least so that I can clear the cutoff.
So,
And
sorry to interrupt. Basically, many students are having the question कि सर हमें इसके लिए क्या सिर्फ बैंक लेवल के क्वेश्चंस करने हैं या फिर कैट लेवल के हाई लेवल के क्वेश्चंस को प्रैक्टिस करना है फॉर क्वांट सेक्शन ऑफ आरबीआई एग्जामिनेशन.
so I took a couple of mocks available on the internet, and RBI specifically. But a lot of people say that you can go for IBPS PO mains, SBI PO mains, although it's a little bit lower. So I cannot comment upon that because I took the only RBI mock test and I stuck to that only. But a lot of aspirants are there who are preparing for other examinations also, and they should definitely strategize according to that. I'm probably not the right person to comment upon that.
Okay.
Uh,
So, apart from this, coming to the reasoning part.
Reasoning, my strategy was that there are puzzles and there are non-puzzle questions. So I knew it that with respect to puzzle, it's a very likely thing that you might get stuck, and then again the time pressure comes upon you, and then you are not able to solve the non-puzzle questions, which I find
Mhm.
relatively easy. So I focused upon silogs, inequalities, order and ranking, direction, distance, blood relation, and other questions which are non-puzzle related. So, and by the time there are almost 20 to 25 questions, and rest are mostly puzzle questions and statement assumptions, these kind of
Mhm.
questions. So I focused upon that, and it ensured that I'm clearing the cutoff. And again, for these, I just watched some of the videos and focused on clearing the mocks and analyzing which I'm getting wrong, which kind of specific questions I'm getting wrong.
Okay. Now coming to the very important part, that is the general awareness section.
Yes, yes.
So it is really a pain point of so many aspirants ki what to do, how to cover the schemes, and how to
Mhm.
basically retain all those facts and figures that are being asked in the examination. So what is your take on that?
As we previously discussed, that it's a revision, and sticking to one source will be the key to clearing the examination. And I basically did 5 months of compilation, 5 months of compilation for general awareness and schemes tap, economic survey, budget, and major reports and indices, RBI notifications, PIB compilations. Because if you clear RBI phase one, then these are helpful in the phase two also. So you will save your time in phase two preparation. You can focus on the ESI and English descriptive writing and FM also. So I focused on these mainly. And for the phase two, I add RBI annual report, FSR, and the mocks I revised. Mocks questions I revised and marks few important questions that have a probability of coming in the examination. So since I have revised the source compilation 3, 4 times, 5 times, so I was able to attempt all the 80 questions within 20 minutes. A lot of people struggle even attempting all the questions, but I was able because since I've revised it, and I knew that if I do not know this question, it's okay. Just leave it. I need to move on to the next questions because there might be a possibility that in the last 10 questions, 70 to 80 questions are there, uh, which I might be able to clear, which I might be able to attempt. I know them, but if I'm slow in the initial questions, I might not be able to reach or see those questions. So it's important that you go through each and every question, because there will be definitely few questions, and most of the questions are from 4 to 5 months, especially in the mm, phase one sections.
So it's very important to at least go through all the 80 questions in
Hmm.
the examination.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that is
Definitely.
also, as you mentioned, that you are really able to pick up those questions that, okay, this is something that I am really very well versed about. And I
Mhm.
just attempted that question that moved on. So basically, that is, I think, the power of revision. As you revised the things multiple times, that basically makes you that ability to solve these questions properly. Because at times people might feel confused ki, okay, I have already read about this part, but the options which are being given, they
Mhm.
are also the part of some other important topics that we have already discussed. So basically it creates confusion during the examination point of view, and that's where the revision plays its part.
Definitely, definitely. Revision is the key. Not a lot of sources, but revision is the key. That's
Yeah.
why I again repeat for the fellow students.
Now I would like to draw the aspirant's attention to one more important point that you have mentioned as a key learning, that is the quick decision making. So what was the impact of that quick decision making that really helped you in your phase 1 examination? Because we all know that in 25 minutes we are required to cover 80 questions,
Questions.
and the same goes with the other sections as well.
Yeah, exactly. So uh, in for with this for each part it will be quite different, but in GA specifically, it's if you know the question, if you have heard that, you have to, like, you do not need to read word by word. You just have to go like first line what's the key term, second line what's the key term, and you will get an idea. And you can do it by practicing in the mocks, practicing. And when you're practicing the mocks in your home, you're relatively at an easy environment. In the exam it will be a relatively difficult environment. So so if you can quickly decide it, which questions I need to attempt, which questions I need not attempt, then you can improvise, and this will only come through practice. You have to give 10, 12, 15, 20 mocks, and you will develop an habit of which questions to eliminate and which questions to attempt. And with respect to quant, I believe a lot of time is there. I think 25 minutes, 30 questions, but you have to attempt 5, 6, 7 questions, and you can clear the cutoff. And again, but the questions are quite difficult in quant. The level is rising. So again, you have to focus on certain aspects, certain doable questions, and there will be 4 to 5 questions which are doable, which are on relatively easy, but you have to find it. You cannot get stuck on, like, for example, you are attempting and you are stuck on the third question and you are not able to see what's the 50th question, which you are able to, which you could have easily cracked. So you have to again go through the whole uh, paper. And a lot of people do this thing, that they first go through each question from 1 to 30 questions, and they mark that I will do only these questions. So that is one strategy that a person can use. I have personally used that strategy, but again, people will have to tweak certain things according to their own preferences.
Yeah.
And
So
reasoning, as I told, I skipped the puzzles. I focused only on the non puzzle questions. So in my opinion, all the non-puzzle questions take not more than 50 seconds, 60, 70 seconds. So I attempted as and when they appeared. I did not specifically waited for going to the last questions. So these are strategies that are developed while giving the mocks. After you're giving 10, 15, 20 marks, then you realize, if I've used this strategy, my score was less. If I've used this strategy, then my score went up. So you analyze it. A lot of people don't give marks and they don't realize what's their weak point, what are their major points, they can cover it up. So you have to give marks and analyze your own performance.
So good piece of words and advice for all the aspirants, because it is really important to appear in the mocks and to learn from those mocks. Because if we are not analyzing the mocks, then again there is no point in appearing the mocks as well. So it's very important to learn these things which are going to help you out and channelize your way when you will be appearing in the examination.
Exactly. So first you have to read the source, then revise it multiple times, then give the mocks and analyze the mocks also.
Yeah.
These
So
in
that's
order to sum it
yeah,
up.
that's the complete cycle. So now, moving on to the phase two part. So what was your strategy for the phase two?
So phase two is divided into three parts. So ESI, FM, and English. So I will just open the notes here that I made. Um, I will have a sip of water.
Yeah, sure.
I apologize in advance. I have a sore throat, so I'm having a little bit problem. So in the ESI, I have prepared for civil services, so a lot of terms were quite familiar to me, and so I had notes made out of them. So I revised them, and there are a lot of key terms such as globalization, poverty, employment, agriculture, farming. So if you can have a particular definition from a very good source, for example, I remember that financial inclusion. So there's a committee on financial inclusion. Dr. C Rangarajan was the chairman in 2008. So he gave the financial inclusion ka definition. So if you can source that, if a question comes and if you write this particular definition and give the source, this definition is taken from that. Or globalization, what is the definition of globalization? Demographic dividend, we talk a lot. India is a very young
Mhm.
country, we need to capitalize upon our demo. So what do you mean by demographic dividend? So these things will definitely help you in creating a difference between some others answers and your answer, because you give a proper source and you are having an exact definition. And if you can have two three such definitions in your answer, even one definition, it will help you in saving some time while typing those 30-40 words of definition and resource. And another key important thing was, I just simple preparation was to learn the definition of the keywords. And with respect to ESI, I went to the economic survey, and and I just went through the whole document actually. I read the summary once or twice, and then I went through the whole document. And if I found some very good examples, I would keep it aside and try to use it in my answer writing practice when I was giving the mocks and getting it evaluated. And there are a lot of good examples, as well as there are a few statements which are given by the some renowned persons, which can you can directly quote in your answers and gives a heavy weight to your answer, because everybody will be giving the definition and what do you mean by this. Mota mota everybody will be writing, but if you can write something specific, it gives you a weight. And every there are economic survey, you have a lot of chapters for on climate change, employment, education, healthcare. And if you can take three lines from the starting of that particular chapter and ending three lines, 4 5 lines, you can have starting and conclusion all ready made on each and every topic of the ESI key terms. So it definitely helps. And um, I believe that's pretty much it.
So it's really good to that you have to pick up the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus and accordingly you have to prepare. And
Exactly.
employing the specific parts in your descriptive answer is really going to add some more weight to your answers in the
Mhm.
examination. That I think it is really a very good point that all the aspirants can note it down from this part, that you can also
Mhm.
do the same when you're preparing for your examination. Now
Exactly.
coming to the
And
yeah, please.
sorry, one more point, that if you can write, if a, for example, employment, if a question is regarding employment, so you have to write 3 to 4 um, aspects. What are the economic aspects? What are the social aspects? Ethical, political, technological, legal, environmental. It's not necessarily each and every point can be written with respect to the employment, but you can try to write 3 to 4 different uh, particular perspective you can give into your answer, and it makes your answer look wholesome. So a recent, I don't know whether I have written it or not, but I remember that I wrote this example in my one of the mock answers at least. So employment. So Maharashtra government has MOU with the German government, Germany, and they will be sending the labor from Maharashtra to the Germany. So can it be? viable option that other states can also employ. Now it's a recent development, and if you can give such examples, it will definitely give weight to your answers and make your answer stand out than the others.
Yeah, definitely. So very good point that Mr. Perth has basically shared with all of you, and I really believe that you are really going to get a lot out of that. And now coming to the finance part. So how did you manage the finance preparation?
Finance, to be honest, I just stuck to the notes, the compilation that were giving, and again, I opened the syllabus and what are the um, key terms, and read. If there's a key term, then I need to be able to write 100 200 words, and then I can add furthermore by giving some recent example or some recent quote or recent development. But I need to be very well versed through the syllabus, and the I read the finance notes and compilation, and sectional tests and mock test, full length mock test, and similar is the case in the management. Management I specifically started after the phase one result only. From 20th September results were out. 21st September I started to read management. That's all. Uh, Although it seems very difficult, but it's not really that difficult. It's relatively, to be honest, a little bit of common sense only in management. Nothing very specific that cannot be learned or understood. You can definitely learn it.
And I think where there is a will, there is a way. And if you are having that task on hand that, yes, this is something that I would like to do in this given amount of time, you will definitely be able to do that. So,
Def-
as you mentioned that you picked up topic wise and covered the whole syllabus. So, in that part, how did EduTap course helped you in covering all these aspects? Whether all the topics which are there in the syllabus they are comprehensively covered in the EduTap course, and the other important part, like there are concept notes, then summary sheets, then
Mhm.
other MCQs. So, are all these aspects are really important for clearing this examination, which have been provided in the EduTap course?
See, actually, uh, I did not watch the whole videos, complete videos. Rather than I focused on the summary sheets because due to the lack of time.
Hmm.
So I focused on the summary sheets, and I focused on the giving the chapter wise test, and like complete tests, full length tests. So that was my strategy, because once you have read it, it's important that you test your knowledge also, because certain questions are in such the way they are asked, it's probably you have not think that through, and it helps in gaining the better understanding, especially with respect to a particular topic. By giving the test, it improves your knowledge, and it's some kind of revision only. So I did that. And one more thing with respect to the management was that I tried to, if I'm reading nudge theory, so I will go on internet and try to give an example, try to write down in my notes what kind of example, real life example. So I remember one example that
Hmm.
in Belgium or in Netherlands, so they have what they have done that every person after the age of 18, they are by default donator. They can organ donate. So it's a real life example of nudge theory. I'm not so sure whether it's Belgium or Netherlands. I'm getting a little bit
Hmm.
confused. So it's if you can give real life examples in management, it definitely improves your answer, because you're very well versed and you're giving real life examples. Emotional intelligence, I remember it was mentioned in the RBI annual report. So it gives that you have read the annual report also. And examiner things will definitely have a positive uh, mindset with respect to your answer,
Yeah, and it also adds value to your answers.
value to answer.
Yeah. So now let's move on to the last stage of the examination, that is the mock interview. So that is the interview process. So did you also appear in any mock interview for RBI Grade B officer exam?
Yeah, I appeared in the EduTap's mock interview, offline mock interview held in Delhi, and another couple of institutes also. So it definitely helped me. I'm forgetting the panel member's name, but they
Yeah.
definitely gave me insights that Perth, you have this kind of background, and uh, since I'm from chemical, so um topics such as environment, how can they be used, how can so these environment related topics can be definitely be asked to you. You should be well versed what are the initiatives, carbon credits, what are India's standings, and the other one panel member checked these topics, and another panel member checked my basic banking knowledge. So he told me that you need to brush up your basics a little bit more, and otherwise it's all good. And they complimented on my body language, and so they gave a good review. Then the after the interview was over, Jalat sir and Anchit sir, we had a personal session, 5 of 10 minutes, and they also gave me an interview. They also complimented me that these are the things that you can work upon, and they asked me how much marks you got last year. So I told that I got 36 marks. So see, Parth, if you want 36 marks again, you will definitely get. But if you want more than that, 55, 60, in order to ensure that you want to get selected, you need to put in a little bit more effort. So I started to be a little bit more sincere from that point onward, and they definitely. And I contacted Anchit sir also. So how can I improve? And there are certain standard questions which was not asked but was quite expected, like why do you want to join RBI? Why should we select you? These are kind of questions which are quite expected in the interview itself. So I texted them just sir, and he slightly modified it also, and gave a relatively more smoother answer, which can be more refined and smoother answer.
So, the feedback and the inputs that you got from the panel and Anchit sir. So, basically, how did it really help you in your actual interview?
Okay. So I would tell you before the interview, because I was again, like I mentioned, collecting the
Hmm.
resources. I was reading a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
not into very much depth. And in the actual interview also, uh, the advice that Anchit sir and Jalat sir gave, ki that you need to focus. Since I do not have a working background, so they will most likely be asking you something on chemical engineering, as the chairman sir himself is a chemical engineer. So either chemical engineering or basic of banking knowledge or current affairs, nothing more than that. Very likely your 80 to 90% questions will be from that only, and that is actually what happened. So I focused on these. After the mock interview, I focused entirely upon these, going through the notes, revising them, basal norms, financial and economic terms. And that's came because that's exactly what happened, that Anchit and Jalat sir told me this is probably going to happen, and that's exactly what happened.
So I believe, guys, that you are really having a good important points and good piece of advices from Mr. Perth, and really his experience and his strategies are really going to help you out. Now coming to another important question. So how was your family's reaction when you got selected for your RBI Grade B officer exam?
So like it's been a long journey. So we have been waiting for some kind of good news that finally I got selected. So when I got the result, it was 9:15 almost, and I I opened the PDF. I opened the PDF and checked and made sure that it is my roll number only, not somebody else. Because one digit here and there can cause a trouble. Then I called my brother, and he also checked. Like, yeah, it's your. Then he screamed, like, invited my mom. Okay, mom is finally being selected.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took the blessings. I touched the feet of my mother. She gave me blessings, and uh, we talked for some time, like what were the struggles through the past 4 5 years. So that's all. uh, Finally the feelings are getting
Yeah.
settled down.
And but what makes your this journey really special?
Nothing much, to be honest. I'm like going through it. It was my decision, and my family definitely supported me. I had a great set of friends who were there, who supported me in my going through the struggle time. And it's their success also, as much as it's mine. It's their success also. And special would be because you're getting to work in a organization as prestigious as RBI. And now it's my responsibility to work for RBI and make myself important asset for the Reserve Bank of India.
Yeah, definitely you will be a very important asset for the RBI. And any last few words that you would like to give, or any message that you would like to give to the aspirants who are planning to appear in the RB Grade B Officer exam 2025?
Well, although we have covered a lot of topic, a lot of things, but again, I would summarize it. That first thing is the revision, revision, revision. You have to keep on revising that.
Mm,
Second, develop give 2 3 kinds of mock tests from different institutes, because it will help you in preparing the unexpected questions also, because RBI is giving unexpected questions also this time, and lengthy, the questions are also getting lengthier. So again, if I have covered 25 minutes may 80 questions, probably it will get more and more difficult because of the questions getting lengthy. So take mocks, revise it, analyze it, and third would be like it's not something that I followed, but I would recommend it to other people who are preparing, or that I was full time preparing, but I would recommend that you can give 2 or 3 attempts, but after that you should try to get a job, because and you can prepare simultaneously, and if you have read it 2 or 3 times, then you have enough knowledge base that you can revise it, and uh, give the examination. A lot of working experience are, get selected, and it gives a good impression to the panel members in the interview also, that the person is working. So I would, this is not something that I particularly
mhm.
followed, but again I would like to give it to the fellow, because the there's a luck factor also. A lot of people who were not able to make it to the finalist are probably quite qualified, but just for 1 marks or 2 marks, they were not able to make it. So it happens. I remember in my phase 2 examination, uh, I never was able to type in, when I was in my home, I was not able to type more than 1300 words, but in the actual examination I typed 1700 words. So that's a luck factor. I got slightly lucky because the keyboard was quite good. I was sitting in the first bench. There was no nuisance. There's a luck factor also.
Yeah, definitely. So I really believe, guys, that these messages and the advices from Perth are really going to help you out. Now, I think we have already touched all the points which are really going to help these aspirants in clearing and becoming the RB Grade B Officer 2025. So,
Definitely.
Perth, thank you for joining us. And on the behalf of whole EduTap team, I would like to again congratulate you for becoming
Thank
the
you.
RB Grade B Officer. And my
Thank you
dear
so much.
aspirants, yeah. And my dear aspirants, we will keep on coming up with such more success story sessions. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.